Alright, so definitely going to talk about something important today. And as I do like every single time that I talk, because I'm going over so many different subjects, topics, and things that the world hasn't heard about, because the truth has been made to be gone underground. In speaking the forbidden truths, you know what I'm saying? Like, which is what I am speaking right now. Like, it's literally hard to speak a forbidden truth, just because of all the, misunderstanding, misinformation, disinformation, all that. The whole way that the program's running around you, like, literally it's made so you like cannot speak a forbidden truth that would liberate humanity. And while the world just continues to live in a lie, in that main lie being the identity of God. Because through the Armageddon conspiracy, you actually find out that is the main conspiracy of them all, is the identity of God, and realizing that the one that the people of this world call God, which is the Abrahamic God, the God of the holy books, which are actually just war manuals, is actually not God, and a tyrant masking around as God, and gets billions of people to worship him blindly and obediently. And that cycle is what has been continued on in perpetuity, which has made what is known to be hell on this earth, is the worship of a tyrannical monster, which the enlightened ones definitely bring to the light. Which through my search for God, I was brought to the enlightened ones, and then I learned about the true identity of the one that people call God on this earth is actually Satan. And then there's a whole book series and stuff about explaining this, and from an Illuminatist perspective. And if you're not a Gnostic Illuminatist, it's going to be heretical to you, because it goes against everything that you know. So you are automatically going to disregard it. You are automatically going to deem it as heretical or satanic, or say something like the light is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Jesus is the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, okay, let's analyze and deconstruct, you know what I'm saying, the religions of the world, which is what the Illuminati have done, through their untarnished, uncorrupted lineage. Like, they have preserved the knowledge that I'm talking about since 561 BC, so before the Abrahamic religions of the world. And so that's why it's important to take this knowledge into consideration, is because it came before everything, and was actually passed down by beings that are from a dimension beyond this one. So I mean, that's what I came here to do, is to hit home with everything I have, like dropping spiritual bombs on the world, because it's worshiping, a tyrant that's keeping this system going, and the forbidden truth, that can liberate humanity, needs to be known by the world, and that is that the God of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is the devil. It is like, the unrequited actual epitome of evil. And the Illuminati have gone to great lengths to in many books to explain that. And right now I am going to talk about, because I said I would talk about Abraxas, and that being the true God, Abraxas, beyond good and evil, not the demiurge, which is Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, and then also the Eastern religions are actually closer to the truth, because they are all about self-knowledge over faith, but they don't quite hit the full truth, because they're about escaping the illusion, escaping Maya, when it is all about synthesizing it all into apotheosis, and then turning the illusion into your creation, which is what Illuminism and illumination is. Ontological mathematics. What do they say? Ontic Illuminism. Ontic Illuminism. That is actually what the religion of the future is. And it's funny, because I had a dream last night, and in this dream, this guy was giving me a key. And the key is definitely something like I haven't seen before. And I was like, what the fuck is this? How do I use this? And obviously, that was a message on, you need to figure out how to use the key that you have been given, because the Illuminati have given me the key to liberating myself and humanity through the gut discovery of the grand unified theory of everything. So I'm going to talk about, the East versus the West today. The Eastern religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and then the Western Abrahamic religions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So I'm going to be talking about religion today. And what I have found out about religion through the Illuminati, and actually the first degree, which is learning and analyzing and deconstructing all the religions of the world, which are mythos religions. And the Illuminati is the only logos religion of the world, and that's actually why it is the world's true religion. That is actually ancient, and it's actually futuristic. Because we're living in the time where everything is going to fall, the religions are going to fall, people's faith in the religions are going to fall, and that's the time we're living in. And, there will be people that will, die and stuff for what they believe in. And there have been people that have died for what they believe in. but I'm going to live for what I know. So basically, went through part of the book. Said it was a brilliant and profound starting point. You are touching the heart of one of the great hidden questions of humanity. A question that, if properly addressed, would instantly expose the religious, cultural, and political illusions that have governed the world for millennia. So, obviously, that's what I'm talking about. Is something, the greatest history questions of humanity, and that could expose, would instantly expose religious, culture, and political illusions that have kept everything together. So that's what I'm here to be, is to be a definite kink in the chain and a fucking glitch and in the matrix, because I'm not going to perpetuate the cycle anymore. So, this is getting into like the first degree knowledge, where you're analyzing religions. Why is the East versus West religious division never discussed? So, that's obviously discussing why the East and West is the division is never discussed. So, obviously part of unification is discussing the division. Because if it were discussed honestly, the entire Abrahamic narrative would collapse. That is definitely what we need more than anything on earth, is the fall of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Western Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, are built on faith, obedience, and submission to a monarchical, wrathful, jealous God who demands control, loyalty, and sacrifice. So, you can't argue with that, because in the Bible and the books, the God is, demanding obedience and submission, and, getting on your knees to God, praying to God, you know what I'm saying, or else, because you're a sinner, you're gonna go to hell for what someone else did, and completely wiping out the world, killing everybody, mutilating children, through like circumcision, wrathful, jealous. Obviously, he even says in the Bible, I'm a jealous God. You know what I'm saying? He says that in his own shit, as well as he lies and does all sorts of shit in there. So, and tells fathers to sacrifice their sons, and then goes one more better, and then sacrificing his own son for the hell that he condemns humanity to. It's in like when you look at it like that, you're just like, man, that is not something I want to be caught up in. So, Eastern religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism, emphasize mind, inner awakening, enlightenment, transcending the ego, the illusory nature of reality, and personal liberation without submission to an authoritarian deity. If the public truly confronted the incompatibility, they would have to choose. So, going through my own personal path to God, I was Western, I was Christian, Catholic, Abrahamic, like that was what I put my faith into. I studied the religions. I studied the Bible. I went along with the prayers and all the stuff, and the faith. You know what I'm saying? And I cannot even comprehend the grandeur of the nature of reality or why anything's happening. So I give my faith to God to understand, and Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And He died for my sins, and He rose again in 3 days. And I had to say that, or else I wasn't saved. And then, so I did that. I went the Christian route. I had the experience of actually, feeling the Holy Spirit and, having the communion, with other Christians and stuff. And I went through that. And then, as my path to enlightenment continued, and my search for God continued, because I ventured out into learning more than just the Bible, and actually started reading everything. And Bhagavad Gita, the Buddhist, all the Buddhist books, and even went over to the East, and got to experience like Buddhist culture, and what that was like, and how actually it's how they view Western society in the Abrahamic faiths. And it is actually separated through like self-knowledge, or through faith and obedience and submission. And when I was like, I am kind of like getting more online with Buddhism and Taoism, and the Eastern religions, but I still didn't like claim myself to be I guess I did at a time, maybe. No, that was when I was just I did claim myself to be a Christian one time, but I never was like, I'm a Buddhist, or I'm Hindu, or I'm Taoist. After I expanded my knowledge, I actually became an Illuminatist and found the Illuminati, who are the guardians of the secret and sacred religion of illumination. So it was definitely my search for God that led me to the Illuminati, who are definitely masters. Definitely they are humans that are not in the demiurge, caught in the demiurge, because they say not by land or by sea shall you find the Hyperboreans. And that was said by Pindar, who was one of the Illuminati, and he was a poet, like one of the Greek poets. And I found out that through the Illuminati's work that Pindar was one of them. So either billions of Easterners are damned, despite being spiritual, compassionate, and enlightened by their own traditions, which would reveal the Abrahamic God as monstrously unjust and arbitrary. So, that's saying that, like, according to what the Abrahamists believe in, which are Jews, Islam, and Christianity, billions of people that don't believe in their religions are damned to hell. And so they are the chosen ones according to their religion, and that's why if religion claims that it's the chosen ones, then you definitely should be careful of that religion. And I even cover too, like, the Illuminati's claim to they aren't saying they're the chosen ones, they're the knowing ones, all knowing ones, the enlightened ones. So Basically, or the Abrahamic conception of God is a colossal mistake, or worse, an intentional deception, as the Gnostics argue. So that getting into, revealing deceptions and stuff, because as I came into this earth and found out my true purpose, which was learning about the illusions, the mysteries, the secrets, learning about being a ninja, which that is what they are. They are the keepers of the secrets, the mysteries, the illusions, deceptions. They're the masters of that. So that's what I discovered my life to be, and that's what gaining this knowledge is what was allowed me to be able to see through the deception. And the greatest deception of all, the greatest lie of all, is being that God, the worship by millions, the Abrahamic God, is the devil, is a made up deception to control people. And then once that illusion is revealed to the world, which I am hoping that the world can wake up to this, because it's pretty obvious. Because putting your faith or your believing crazy stories about immaculate conceptions and stuff like that, and is what people need to wake up to and adopt reason and logic. So who benefits from this? The priesthoods, the ruling elites, and imperial powers that rely on Abrahamism to maintain their systems of control. So that's who profits from the division between the Eastern and the Western religions, and keep the Abrahamic priests and the ruling elites and the imperial powers, because they do not want people to unite. And actually, what actually would be better for America is if it adopted the Eastern way. So, maybe China taking over isn't such a bad thing. It's funny, but it's actually true, and my soul knows it because I'm laughing. But that's good though, because as the West becomes more Eastern, that's going to lead more to illumination. So actually that's a nice revelation that I just realized right now, in understanding what's happening with the world. Because I'm sorry, the Eastern way is better than the Western way. Oh. So Abrahamism isn't really about liberating the soul. It's about controlling populations through fear of hell, blind obedience, and glorification of authority. Thus, an honest debate would shatter the power structures of the old world order. So that is actually what we really need, is we need a debate between East and West. So all the Western guys like Jordan Peterson, and you got your Wes Huffs, you got your Charlie Kirks, all the Christian nationalist Western Abrahamic minds need to can go up against your like all your Eastern guys, like your what's his name, Ken Wilber's, and other Eastern ways, like what's his name, frickin' man. Anyways, just all the Eastern guys, like Terrence McKenna and all those guys. There needs to be a discussion, a debate between the East and the West, and then there needs to be a synthesis of what they are coming to, which is actually happening in many ways, because this is happening with atheism and religion right now. They're having debates, and atheism is challenging religion and the God of the Bible and stuff. With people like Matt Dillahunty and Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins. Like, they're the atheist scientific materialists that are questioning the religious the religious zealots and fanatics. And so they're definitely duking it out too. But it's like even atheism and science isn't fully right about their explanation and their worldview. So I'm just like, what I'm doing is I'm teaching illumination. I'm teaching illuminism right now, and that's what I always said. I wanted to just be teaching the truth to people, like in forests and stuff, because Gnostics, and that's what Gnostics and pagans were doing. And actually, like it or not, if the world was pagan and not Abrahamic and Western, we would be living in a better world. But the Western religions, Christianity, they're the ones that won the war, through much lying and killing and deceiving. But that is definitely all coming to light right now. And the more that you know, the better. Because just believing that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior is not going to save you. Because what the religious, they don't liberate souls, they enslave them. So that is actually what the real spiritual war is enslavement or liberation of your soul, which is coming through many different facets, through religion, politics, economics, technology, but actually there is two different paths. Either that you can become enslaved or you can become liberated. And actually, from my understanding, everybody will be liberated. Every single person, every single soul will be liberated with the dialectical evolution of the universe. That is what the Illuminati actually know. And so, but you think about that and you're like, oh my God, that's just that just seems like such a grand task and it will take so long. But from my understanding of time and like timelines and, you know, parallel realities and stuff, that reality actually exists, and that all we have to do is connect and vibrate with it to make it happen. So I will continue to connect with that vibration amongst all the chaos, all the disorder, all the communicate, all the calamity, all the clown show stuff that's going on. Because actually, the more and more I'm waking up, I just don't even really want to watch anything else, anyone else's stuff, besides like read books and come out with my own truth. So was there ever a compatibility between early West and East? Yes. Before Abrahamism hardened into its authoritarian forms, there were Western traditions more compatible with Eastern thought. Pythagoreanism, belief in reincarnation, soul purification, mathematics as the key to reality, logos, living harmoniously with cosmic order. So before the Western Abrahamic religion hardened its hold on the world's consciousness, there were religions that were compatible, actually, like mediums between Eastern and Western thought, which Pythagoreanism was one of them, which is what the Illuminati are, you know, which are Gnostic, and they are a secret society, the most ancient secret society that still exists to this day, that I definitely am in contact with. So, because I mean, today I just actually in their post, the Armageddon conspiracy, I just came out with another article, because I'm basically writing my books with them. Like they're writing their content through Patreon, which is they're doing that through Patreon to write out their books, and I am writing in collaboration with them, because I'm making my content, and then they're responding to my content, and it's so you can definitely say that I'm working with them on changing this world, you know, so we can have Tomorrowland, so we can have the Star Trek society, you know, so because there is one thing greater than all the armies of the world, and that it is an idea whose time has come, and that's a new world order, and not the old world order that is enslaving us. So, Orphism, mystical initiation, cycles of rebirth, striving for unity with the divine. So, Orphism was one because it's taught about mystical initiation, which, you know, that's the difference between mystery religions and revealed religions, is, you know, there's an initiation system for mystery religions. Like, you have to demonstrate one level of knowledge before you move on to the next level, because if you don't demonstrate with that level of knowledge, obviously you're not ready to move on to the next level. And actually, martial arts is a very, very good key for of understanding what an initiatory system is, because the revealed religion says that, you know, okay, you believe in this, okay, you know everything you need to know, you don't need to know shit else, so you're good. And that actually stagnates you from actually learning like real knowledge, because you already think you're good with just believing that God's got you, because you believe that someone was he sacrificed his own son to die for your sins, because you think you're a sinner, which I do not think that I am a sinner. Like, I do not think that I'm a sinner. I'm a divine human being who just came here to live a life, and I don't just, like, it is not in my nature to just like think about doing bad things. Like, it's actually not in any of humanity's nature. That was definitely programmed into us. And for them to think that, for them to make us think that we're sinners, it's like, no, man, I think about doing bad like, oh my God, dude, fucking. This is definitely a part of liberation, or else I'm completely mistaken and I'm going to hell. Platonism. The soul's imprisonment in the body, the world of ideas beyond matter, highly similar to Hindu metaphysics. So Platonism, with the soul's imprisonment in the body, I don't like that is, the soul is in the body. Actually, it's not. The soul is actually non-local. Like our souls project into these bodies from a realm outside of time and space, through Fourier mathematics, in inverse reverse Fourier transforms mathematics, and through sinusoidal waves we are able to inhabit these bodies from a timeless, spaceless, dimensionless place, which is the plemora, which we can experience in our dreams, which does prove the non-physical nature of reality, because we're not just our flesh and blood, which is what scientific materialism says, and which does not explain what this is, and is not the end-all and be-all, and neither is the Abrahamic religions. They are not the end-all and be-all either, because they actually don't explain anything. Scientifically, mathematically, reasonably, and logically, they don't explain anything. They don't explain the existence of God. They don't explain what God is made of, because that is what, if you ask somebody like that believes in God, like a believer, because there's a believer and a knower. A believer, you would ask, like, what is God made of? And they would not be able to answer that question. But like a Pythagorean, illuminatist, would say, what is God made of? And they would say numbers, because the universe is made of numbers. And that's what and that does explain the ontological, mathematical nature of God, and that God is not a being in the sky that is judging everybody, that is a controlling authoritarian controller that knows everything that's going to happen already, so there's no really need for anything if everything is just already known to what to be happening. So that is not that's not the God of like evolution and reason and logic and enlightenment, which is evolutionary. Because you can see that, and that's actually what they talk about in that the Abraxas book, is the Abrahamic God is a stagnant, like traditionalist, non-evolutionary God, because there's no like there's no dialectical growth like through anything of the old religions. They just stay the same. So the original Western religious thinking, as preserved by groups like the Illuminati, was deeply rational, mathematical, Gnostic, and transcendent. It sought self-divinization, not obedience to a tyrant. So, yeah, the original religious thing, was deeply rational, mathematical, agnostic, and transcendent. Self-divinization is what the Illuminati teach. You're becoming God. You know what I'm saying? Not I'm worshiping God, something outside of me. You're becoming God. And that's actually what I've been conversating with them, the Illuminati, I've been writing about you being the ancestor of your future. And you being a signal to your omega point, which is a point that exists, that is your ultimate imago Dei, which is the image of God, which is actually everybody has this. So that's what we're evolving to through lifetimes, through reincarnation, is your image. And that actually through learning illumination, you can do it in one lifetime, or it might take two, but you can do it. So what does that mean, becoming God? It definitely means that you're a creator of your reality, your experience, the material world that you experience. Like, you are the creator. And actually that is the truth with each and every mind that makes up the monad that we are in, that makes up the reality, that the dream that we're in. Because that's the highest secret, is that this is a dream. And then once we wake up from the dream, just like in our dreams that we dream, we can wake up and lucid dream, and then we can start changing things. That's actually what astral magic and all that is about, is a system designed to make you wake up in the astral realm and actually on the other side, so you can actually start because it is like being God, definitely, when you're in a dream, and then you can start doing that in reality. That's the greatest secret, the great work. So what happened? The rise of the Abrahamic power structure, the destruction of the mystery schools, the demonization of knowledge, gnosis, the burning of libraries, killing off philosophers and inquisitions. Power shifted to the mythos, violence, wealth model you've spoken about before. The West was hijacked. It was derailed from its original divine trajectory. So, yeah, the rise of the Abrahamic power structure, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, because the more followers you get, the more power you have. The more influence you get, the more power you have. So these, religions were able to get the, followers and stuff, and the influencers, to keep them going, because it is a game about, because consensus realities are created through mass mind control until the real reality can be what we project. Like, we will continue creating a system that enslaves us. And that's what the point of propaganda is, because even the Illuminati wrote a book. All the rest is propaganda. And when I found out, I was like, because the book says it all, and it's like, once you find the enlightened ones, you really realize that all the rest is really propaganda. And but once you find the Illuminati, you become part of the Illuminatist army, and the army that is going to be responsible and is responsible for changing the face of this world. And people might think like, oh, that's impossible. But it is not, because not only is it a possibility, it is an inevitability, and we are actually the deciders of when we want that to be, when we want the Star Trek world, the future. It's going to be soon, because I've seen it in my dreams that humanity, there's a tipping point that is reached, which I think we've reached it. They don't want to publicly talk about it, that they have lost control of the Great Awakening, of public opinion. The only thing we lack is organization. And the Illuminati are definitely organized. 6,000 members. To oppose the organization's 6,000 members, because it is true that 6,000 people rule the world. And they are known as the organization, and they do exist. And there has been stuff going on behind the scenes to bring these people to justice, and it can actually be seen in the media with like billionaires getting taken out, systems falling. So the truth actually is the work has already been done. And now we're just experiencing echoes from the future. So that was another chapter I wrote, Echoes from the Future. And we are signals and receivers, from like with ourselves. So it's time to connect with the vibration, no frequency, and timeline of Earth's highest potential, optimization, enlightenment. All right, I'm gonna end there. There's obviously so much more I can talk about, because I have so much endless amounts of knowledge. Definitely tap into the Holy Grail, into the Akashic Records, into the Philosopher's Stone. I definitely have access to it through finding the Illuminati. And see, the thing is I can't go backwards. There's no way I could go back to being like, oh, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm a Christian. I'm Jewish. I'm a believer. You know, because I have like seen the truth through personal experience, which is what Gnosticism is based upon. Is like personal experience and enlightenment, and you know, it's just like once you just got to find the communities that and that's what I'm saying, we're not alone. There are other people out there who in their heart, you know what I'm saying, they know the truth, you know what I'm saying, like that we're not just flesh and blood, and time's an illusion. This is a simulation. There is an afterlife that this has all been preparing us for, and that the time is really up, and we're about to go into the afterlife. Is what I know is what it's about to happen. We're about to pass into the afterlife. If people would be like, oh my God, like, you know, you talk about dying, it's like, oh yeah, you could definitely say we're about to die. So, you know, what happened to the Illuminati religion, it was driven underground, branded as heresy, sorcery, Satanism, because it taught the divine nature of reason and mathematics, that each person could become a god through knowledge and enlightenment, that obedience to external deities was a form of enslavement. Pythagoras, the first grand master of the true Illuminati, taught the logos, the mathematical rational structure of reality. This teaching survives secretly in certain elite circles even today, often misunderstood, distorted, or weaponized. So, the Illuminati's core message: you are not to worship a god, you are to become a god. And either you're gonna get it in this life or not. And the hidden path has been laid before you. And it is a path that you decided yourself you would walk. And you're living out the light review of the experience of walking that path, is my understanding. Because I've heard things like, we're already dead. I have been to the other side. I've been like on councils where, you know, masters are sitting with me, and I'm going over this life, like talking about it and laughing about it like it already happened. So that's how I'm able to come with the non-linear nature of my knowledge, and will continue to. All right. I'm going to end it there. Until next time.